What's up, guys? How's it going? Today is kind of a special day. It has been 1 year since I've owned the Legacy. 1 full year. I bought it September 21st, 2015. It's September 21st, 2016. Figured today might be a good day to do a full walk around of it because it's come a long ways since its bone stock form 365 days ago. I've put about 47,000 kilometers on it in the last year. It's just under 170,000 kilometers right now. So it's getting up there. All over the world, these things are kicking way north of 200,000 kilometers. So I see a lot of good days and a lot of good road trips in the future. This thing's running great. It's got pretty much no issues. It's almost had no issues. I think the only major thing I've ever really had was I got a leak in my turbo inlet pipe, and that was causing a lean condition because it was sucking in unmetered air from the MAF. And once I got that sorted, put a new turbo inlet in. It's been good ever since. Maintenance here and there, but other than that, runs great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of walk around and point out a lot of things that maybe you people who don't know a lot about the GTB might be wondering. Well, the first thing you guys obviously have noticed is how much lower it is than a stock Legacy. Currently, I'm running the Megan Racing Street Series Coilovers. My spring rates are quite soft for how it is. It's actually 8K springs in the front and I believe 6K in the rear, which is very, very soft. But you know what? It's manageable, and I've got my dampening turned all the way up, 32-way adjustable dampening, and it deals with everything very, very nicely. Currently, I have these coilovers set as low as they'll physically go without really hurting the preload. I have it set pretty loose right now, which isn't the best for ride quality, but it's good enough for what I need to do. And from most of my friends who've ridden the car or even driven it, they honestly say that it rides a lot better than their cars that are stock or just a little bit lower than stock height. So I'm actually very impressed with these coilovers. The Megan Racing Street Series. I imported them straight from Japan, so they are a true JDM addition to this car. The wheels that I have on this thing are the XXR 531. They've been through a few different paint job variations. They started off silver, then they went red, then they went golden black, and now they're white with the paint splatter on them. Their sizing is 18 by 9.5 with a plus 35 offset. And then I have 5mm spacers on all four corners to help them fit a little bit better with the amount of camber it has. The current tires that I have on it right now are 225 40 18, but I was running a 215 40 18, which is a little bit better sizing for the height that my car's at right now. Now, the coilovers that I have are awesome because they have adjustable camber plates in the front, and I was looking for a little bit more camber than what could be offered by the plates. It was about 2 degrees is what they were getting me. So my buddy Braden took these to his machine shop, scanned them, threw them in his CNC machine, and machined out a good portion of the plate, running 4.5 degrees of camber in the front and 4.9 degrees of camber in the rear. Now, in the rear of this car, I have Megan Racing adjustable lower control arms, as well as Megan Racing adjustable camber arms. These are what allowed me to get to negative 4.9 degrees in the rear, as well as zero out my toe for this ride height. Without the lower control arms or toe arms, you basically be screwed for driving at this height. Next up, that's kind of unique on the car is my front bumper, which is a 98 Subaru Legacy GTB front bumper with a license plate delete, which I've done right in the middle right here, filled that in, and then wrapped over it and everything. I've also deleted the fog lights as well as the center pillar. And this lip, which is one of my most frequently asked questions, is a neoprene rubber. So it's the same stuff that rally armor mud flaps or any like rally car mud flaps are made out of. I got it custom made at a shop in Calgary. Just anywhere that has industrial rubbers or industrial plastics should be able to cut you a strip like this. Now for the back of the car. As you guys see, I have some blast pipes. These are dual 4-inch tips from ISR. I got them off of my buddy Will's S14. He went back to a more stock-ish muffler. Wasn't really looking for this style anymore, so I grabbed them from him. I actually did a feature of his S14, which there should be a link popping up right now. You guys can go check it out. Pretty awesome car. It's a KA turbo, making about 300 wheel horsepower. Other than the tips, we got my huge DIY diffuser with Bulma featured right there. This thing is made out of a material called Alumalite, which is essentially ABS plastic sandwiched between two sheets of aluminum. It makes it ultra strong and durable, but also very light at the same time. It's easy to cut, it's easy to bend, and it's very, very nice to work with, and you can kind of do whatever you want. This thing has been through a lot. I tore it off my car actually driving through some sand in a previous episode on a road trip down to Seattle. I've had it on the car for about a month and a half, 2 months now, and you know what? It's angled pretty much perfectly that it's not getting affected too much when driving at highway speeds. It's actually pretty much level, so it's more of a style thing than anything. I wanted to do something a little bit different that nobody had seen on a GTB like this before. This exhaust is also a full 2.5-inch turbo back straight pipe. So there is the decatted downpipes off the turbos, and then it's 2.5 inches to a 3-inch to the dual 4-inch right there. Now, one final thing for the exterior. This car is wrapped. This is a Avery Dennison metallic Meteorite wrap. I wrapped it myself with Calvin, John, and my buddy Tim. Took us about 3 days and a lot of headaches. Also, Curtis Cooper helped us on the front bumper. That was probably the hardest part. Getting around all those curves and everything, but I love it because in lighting like this, it's very simple and very nice flat gray, but when you get it in sunlight or street lights, it just explodes with sparkles and it really attracts people's attention, and then they notice what car it is and they start to ask questions. All right, the JDM EJ208 featured in the Legacy GTB. What the heck is going on here? I know you guys are probably wondering. I'm also still wondering what the heck is going on here, but you know what? Over time and taking apart this thing many times, I have started to figure out what is going on with this engine. So, for starters, it is a 2-liter flat 4 with a twin turbo setup from the factory. This is how they came in Japan. Modifications that I've done include the Revision D turbo inlet pipe, the Canadian Tire spec pod filter. I have redone all of the vacuum lines in the car. with just standard silicone vacuum line tubing. There's about 45 feet worth of vacuum line in this car. Huge headache if you ever have boost leak issues or anything, so wanted to get that sorted as quickly as possible. I've also done a oil catch can as well as the hose 10 delete off of this pipe. So this is just a straight pipe off of the manifold onto my recirculation valve with a boost gauge bleed off of it, but I've deleted one of the hoses, which essentially doubles the boost on these things. Currently I am running in single I get about 13 to 14 pounds, and in twin I'll usually get a spike of 20, and then it will hold out at about 17, 18. It runs strong. I don't have a wideband gauge, but as far as I can tell, it's running quite healthy. I changed my oil with Rotella T6 5W40. I've been doing that ever since I bought the car, and it loves it. Hasn't burnt a drop of oil ever, and you know what? I could see this thing going a long ways. So here is the primary turbo. This is what you guys will be. This is the primary right here on the passenger side of the car. And this is the secondary turbo. So the way that these cars work is the primary is the main turbo. That's the one that's going all the time. And when you hit a certain RPM, which is about 3,500 to 4,000, a few valves open up and it converts it to twin turbo, and the secondary turbo opens up, which gives you a second boost surge, which is a really cool feeling because you can hit full boost at 3,000 RPM, and then when you go to twin, you hit full boost again at about 4,500, 5,000 RPM, and these things are not slow when you get them in twin. They're not slow in single either. So it's a great compromise for cruising around the city. You can play around below 4,000 RPM all day long. Your car's quick and nimble, but you're not risking any crazy high boost issues. For starters, this is a Grip Royal steering wheel. It is the digital camo with polished spokes. It was a limited edition. I also have a signature by the one and only Nakai-san. Sorry about how water spotty the steering wheel is right now, but I have the RWB signature from when he was in Calgary, and I was doing the shoot with him. These are the Corbeau Sportline RS seats. They are awesome. That is the only word I have to describe them, is they are the best daily driving bucket seat that I feel is a reasonable price for a car like this. Obviously, you can start spending a lot of money, and there's going to be a lot nicer seats. But for the price range that these seats are absolutely amazing. They are comfortable. They have lots of bolster. They look great. They add a little bit more of a modern feel to this car, even though it is 18 years old. Here I have a autometer boost gauge, nothing fancy. Shift knob, which is just from one of my buddies. Still have been trying to find a adapter piece for my flossy knob from my old Mazda 3 so that I can put that on there, because come next year I'm going to be needing to make a bit more space in this area. Big things coming for the wagon. Other than that, the interior is pretty simple. I've got 2 stickers right there, signatures from Danny Rail and Mila G. Also has a manual 5-speed transmission from a Subaru Forester STB. It was upgraded by the previous owner after the stock transmission blew up, but it's actually pretty awesome. It's a limited slip center diff rather than a open center diff. So with the rear diff being an LSD, it actually spins all 4 wheels rather than having 2 wheels in the rear spin and 1 in the front spin. Adds so much grip in the winter. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your days to come and watch this channel. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you like my legacy. I mean, I built it for myself, but it doesn't hurt that other people like it along the way. If you made it this far, obviously you're kind of interested in the car. I really would appreciate it if anybody who's got Facebook out there would visit my Tuner Battlegrounds contest entry and toss me a vote. I'm trying to get this thing to Las Vegas. I'm trying to get the first ever JDM Subaru Legacy to Las Vegas for SEMA in the Tuner Battlegrounds contest put on by Paz Magazine. So this would be really cool, not only for the Calgary car scene, but for Canada as well. So, you know what? If you get a chance and if you feel inclined, please toss me a vote. I'm in round 3 right now. I'm in the lead in my battle, but round 4 and 5 are going to be incredibly difficult. So you can vote every 24 hours. The link will be right in the description. So please, guys, vote and